trainee accidentally grabbed it during the resuscitation attempt. Thought it was part of their field kit.
It matches the wound, both in shape and size.
Mike.
Mike Franks. He was wounded in the exact same manner.
About the same age, too.
It's obviously a great process to play a character for more than 10 years. You know, when I was doing theater, you know, the longest I got to do something was for at most 6 months. So, so it's interesting, and it's a great journey that you go on with a character over that long of a period, because you need to keep the character somewhat similar so people don't feel as though they're watching someone different each week, but it needs to change, but it can't stay stagnant. It needs to change a small amount so people can grow with the character. So it's an interesting balance. It's very different than working on a film. It's very different than working in theater, where you have just a finite period, you know, an hour or 2 hours to tell a story. And there are a lot of great challenges in that. And we've had a wonderful time, but really we owe just a ton of that sort of character development to our writers. You know, they do a great job of giving us new things while still staying true to the foundations of the character. So it's fun.
Tony, being a dad is hard.
Yeah, I know.
I'm barely a month in. I can't stop worrying about Victoria's pacifier or her prom date. It's like you discover these whole new planets of worry. I think they're only getting bigger. I'm saying, you should cut your dad some slack, huh? Talk to him.
I think the thing that I love about Jimmy Palmer is that the guy, he looks on the bright side of things. He's a positive person. I like to think that I have similar qualities to that. I like to think that I am generally pretty positive. The differences are that he sticks his foot in his mouth a hell of a lot more than I do. So that's essentially where we're different. I don't do it quite that. I still do it, mind you, but he does it with much more regularity than I do. You know, that was an interesting episode when Jimmy Palmer was getting married, or supposed to get married, and other things happened, so he couldn't have his wedding. You know, nothing on NCIS is supposed to be super easy, otherwise the show wouldn't be very exciting because everything goes according to plan. So I like the fact that things get interrupted a little bit. That one wasn't quite as emotional for me as the one that's coming up in season 12, where Jimmy's trying to adopt and runs into a couple different kind of roadblocks along the way. That one was very easy to access some, you know, some real feelings. I have 2 children of my own, and you know, I can't imagine how hard that must be for a lot of people who go through the similar things of adoptions not going through, or losing out on an adoption. It can be very emotional, very tough, and it was nice to see some depth to Jimmy Palmer at that moment.
The guy's scary enough when he's properly medicated. I can't imagine what it'd be like with caffeine withdrawal. I can only imagine someone taking away King Kong's bananas. I'm not going to turn around.
Good idea. It's a good analogy, Jim.
Thank you.
I can tell you about 12. That has a lot, for the character of Jimmy Palmer, it has a lot to do with family, with trying to grow his family, trying to adopt a child, trying to conceive a child naturally as well. So he's really going on a journey of fatherhood in this next one, and that, with most men, leads to an instant maturation, starts to realize, wow, I'm looking after a whole another human life here. I got to take things seriously. That said, he doesn't lose his sense of humor entirely, or his bad sense of humor entirely. And for the team of NCIS, you know, it's our first full season with the character of Bishop, Emily Wickersham's character. So that, you know, she's finding her feet as an agent and kind of gelling into the team even more so. So that was really great to see this year. And the whole season ends with a pretty huge bang. You know, the season 11 ended with an episode that was not a cliffhanger. And season 12, I gotta say, it's a pretty huge cliffhanger. So we'll see how the fans like it.
Did you hear anything?
You guys.
What?